Hey, so I just want to show you how my first retightening went, the problems I encountered, and a little advice for anyone out there who's into what I'm doing right now. Tiny locks with short hair. This was how my hair looked before the retightening. Most of the hair had unraveled and I needed help. So I booked an appointment with my loctitian and she first saw the hair. Like you already know, I installed these locks myself with 2-strand twists, but I didn't know that I was supposed to go for an interlock session right after because of how short my hair was. I didn't know that because I noticed that other people who started their hair with 2-strand twists didn't really need any interlocking right after. They waited for like 4 weeks or more before they went for it. So I thought that was what was going to happen with mine as well. Unfortunately, it didn't happen like that because my hair is quite short. I started with about 6 inches of hair. Anyway, so when I got there, we discussed my pricing. I had to pay about half of the installation fee because I'd already twisted my hair. She said locks of this size to install on my head would have cost me about 1,500 cedis. So she was just taking a half of that, but she wanted to do it 500 cedis for my first retightening because the hair had basically unraveled at the base, and even the back had totally unraveled. And if she starts with 2-strand twists, it's twist and then interlocking, which is 1,500. So if I've done the twist, then it means it's just interlocking she's going to do, which is about half of that price. So we came to an understanding that I'd pay 400 cedis instead. So I ended up paying 400. The loctician also mentioned that because the tools, she uses her hair tools for other people as well, she always disinfects them. So here she is showing me it's a form of methylated spirits kind of that she uses to clean the surfaces before using it to touch my hair. I also provided some of the hair tools, so I brought her an interlocking pin, but I think she didn't use that. She used a different type for hers. And I also brought my tail comb, my clips as well. So you can see her pinning my clips to the towel just to make sure they are easily accessible. I also told her I had my castor oil, which she said we'll use after I did the interlocking. So we didn't use it in the initial phase. So it was basically just water. She put some herbs in the water. I think they were cloves and something else in the water. They smelled good. And that was what she was using to sprinkle my hair before she started the work. Also, we used some of the time to talk about the types of interlocking tools. She was showing me which one was okay. Mine was also okay. People do use it, but she wanted me to get a different type that looked like a needle, and she said that one was easier for people to do if I want to start interlocking on my own. So this was her explaining all that to me. So then we started with the back. So the thing with the back is that side, the hair on that side is quite coily. So it unraveled first. That was the area that unraveled first, and that was the area I started as well first. So I kind of understand that side unraveled first. So she delineated that area from the main hair, so it's easier for us to work on. So over here, she was asking me how I installed the back. I was trying to retrieve the video for her, but I was still not finding it that day, so that she could see how exactly I installed the twist at the back. She wanted to know how many per line that I did, but I couldn't remember that. So then she just did a freestyle and just started for me. So she started with regular twists like I did before. So she took my phone and took a photo of it and showed it to me. when she did show it to me, in my mind it looked a bit thicker, like the one she had newly done looked thicker to me. So I wanted to correct it and let it be smaller. As of this point, I still couldn't find the video that I took. She unraveled what she did and then did another twist for me and took another photo for me to look at as well. As of this point, I was getting a bit nervous because I was worried that the back would be too big relative to the front, because what she was doing looked a bit bigger. And she was explaining to me that maybe next time I should keep the numbers on the lines so that when if it unravels, we can redo them. So that was what we did. So then she started the interlocking itself. After I was comfortable with the sizes she had done, her assistant came in to redo the unraveled parts, and then others also continued with the interlocking process. It took me, we started around 9:30 and I closed around close to 9. So let's say approximately almost 12 hours to get everything done. I guess it's because of the unraveling, they had to do all that twists before interlocking. So probably that's why it took that long. Hopefully my next retightening won't take that long and it won't cost this much as well. So yeah, we followed through and did all this for that period of time. It was fun. I was very, very, very tired and uncomfortable. But I must say, I did like her patience. She was quite patient with me, and because I know I can get fussy, and there are times where I feel so much pain from the interlocking, and then I started thinking, ooh. But yeah, we did it. I completed it successfully. I didn't change my mind. Again, she took a picture. She took my phone and took a photo. She was quite patient with me. Took a photo for me to look at and see if I liked the size. So yeah, she did show it to me and it wasn't bad. So as of this point, I was like, okay, we can manage with this. Even though I wanted something smaller than this, but well, it's the back, so I just let it be. So she wanted me to also look at the other locks in other parts of on other areas of my head. So I see that they are actually the same. She wanted to confirm with me that what she was doing was actually my size. At this point, I was quite impressed and appreciative of what she was doing, because I've worked with other hairdressers in the past. Well, not locticians, but I've worked with other hairdressers in the past, and I know that they are quite impatient. But she had the patience to explain all this to me. So this is how the hair looked. This was the first one, which I thought was larger, and then this is the second one. These are quite smaller than the first. So finally, this is what we achieved. Okay, so this was the progress. She wanted me to look at it and be sure that I was okay with it. I knew these sizes were bigger because I know when I started they were smaller than this, but I was still okay with it and I decided to just go by it. So we continued the other locks. She continued twisting the other areas that had totally unraveled, still with my guidance, and because she wanted to make sure that I was satisfied, she didn't really want me to not like it. So then that was what happened. So for the other areas, I couldn't get a video of those areas, but yeah, the size that unraveled, they had to do them again and then interlock the bases for everything. So this was the final look. So when I go home that very day, I put them in 3 uneven parts, but then the next day I decided to put them in 4 proper parts so they stay like that, because I really didn't want them to unravel. So here's me undoing that unstable 3 parts so I can properly do the 4 parts. Yeah, because I'm still getting used to it. I didn't really do the parting well. So here's me doing the back I wanted to get 4 big parts for the hair so that I hold them in. But I wasn't really doing it well. Anyway, maybe it's because the hair is short as well. So I tried my best to put them in 4 parts. So that's all I did. Everything you're seeing here is just me trying to get them in 4 parts. And I thought this would help with the unraveling. And I didn't want to disappoint her. She said my next interlocking session would be 3 weeks after this day. So I wanted to make sure that I didn't go back with an unraveled hair, because when it unravels, it means I have to pay more, like I did with my first interlock session. So I wanted to make sure this was intact. There's also the precaution of making sure I don't put this in too much tight parts, because this is freshly retightened hair. So if you put in a lot of pressure with the tightening, as in with the parts, it may cause some form of traction alopecia or some form of damage to the hair. So I was really cautious about that. So here's the final look. I just did 4 parts like I mentioned earlier, but by the next day it was so tight that I had to undo them. Plus I had to go somewhere and I didn't like the 4 parts that I had on my head. But actually I'm glad I undid it, or I took it down the next day, because I really didn't like the tension on my scalp. So I just sprinkled water on it. After the water sprinkling, I just fluff it out a little and that's it. I'll be sharing my progress with you, hopefully on a weekly basis, so we see how everything turns out. I do hope this video was useful to you. If you loved this video, kindly give it a thumbs up, do share with your friends, and kindly subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.